What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're wondering what is wrong with this pot, there is nothing wrong with this pot. These are basically the remaining part of the stem. I have transferred it to one pot. I have 3 more of these pots. I'm going to be using these pots for the stem cutting, the remaining part of the stem cutting. The head part that has been taken for propagation, or which are air rooting. Ideally, I advise you guys to leave the remaining part of the stem in the pot, which is good. That is what I have been doing, and that is okay for an occasional cuttings, maybe 1 or 2. But because I have been doing a mass stem cuttings on a very large scale, and due to which most of the pots are going to be ending up with only these stem, and it doesn't look that great. Apart from that, it is a wastage of that particular pot, because after I have done the stem cutting, the crown areas are waiting to be potted. Once they are air root, then I'll have to search for another pot. So rather than wasting those pots with the remaining stem, I thought I will reuse those pots and transfer all the stems in one, so that I can take care of them. Because these stems need indirect bright light, they do not need to be exposed to direct sunlight. Otherwise, the new pups that tend to come up, let me give you a closer look. You can see these little tiny pups that are going to will start having issues. They will get burnt with direct morning sunlight. Even if the stem or the mother plant was completely acclimated, but the new pups that are coming out will not be able to handle 5 to 6 hours or 6 to 7 hours of direct sunlight, and they will get burnt, because these are very, very fragile. I think I've already burnt my dusty rose a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be visible. Let me focus. There you go. As you can see, I burnt a little bit of it because it got exposed to direct sunlight. So in this way, I can take care of the stems in one pot, and the other pots I can reuse them for putting in the cuttings that have rooted. It is going to work out really well. Now, talking about watering, it is the same process. We water when the soil is completely bone dry. Now, because this pot is going to be kept in indirect light, the soil will dry faster. It is not completely soil. The lower portion, probably an inch, is covered with rocks, so it's not that it is complete soil. So we will be watering it just like a regular succulents, but a little bit less, because this is going to be kept in indirect bright light. It is a plastic pot, so it is the same soil mix which I use for my succulents. There is nothing different. There is no coco peat used in this, because these are adult stems. We have to treat them like adult succulents, so there is no coco peat used in this. It is just the basic soil mix, which is 80% of aquarium sand and 20% of filtered garden soil, because if there is excess moisture, the pups will die anyways, the roots will also get rotted, the stem will get rotted. So we have to follow the same process that we follow with our adult succulents. That is, when the soil is completely bone dry, we will go ahead and water it. Most of them have already started to put out pups. There were some stems that have recently added, so they do not have any pups. Like these 3, I think I have recently added them. This one is Peach Pride, so it was put in long back ago. So you can see it has generated a good amount of pups. This is another best way for the propagation setup. As you'll all know, I have a very huge quantity that I need to produce by the end of next year. So this is going to give me, or this is going to generate a lot of pups, and these are going to be a little bit much faster than leaf propagation. So I give more attention to these. But leaf propagation is also fantastic, but it takes a little bit longer time. As I said, leaf propagation is secondary for me at this point of time. My main priority is stem cutting and separating of the offsets. If in case I find leaves that have broken while repotting or while cutting, I am going to be propagating them as well. But those are secondary. They are going to take a lot of time. I will be adding in few more stems because there is a lot of space. I will be adding in some more. Also, I have to be extremely careful because when you have something like this, mealybugs will tend to attack because the plant is in stress. Whenever a plant is in stress, I'm not talking about stress colors, but I'm talking about when a plant has been cut or when a plant is struggling. This is also a process wherein the succulent is struggling to put out pups, or it is in stress because of the cuts, because plants tend to send out stress signals. So the the mealybugs will attack. So it's always better to put some cinnamon powder. I have sprinkled a little bit of cinnamon powder. I will do it probably once a week or once in 2 weeks. I will sprinkle it on the upper layer of soil so that there is a lot of aroma, pungent aroma, which will irritate the mealybugs. But I'm going to keep a close watch. So after I have filled in another 2 or 3, I don't know, I think probably I have another 2 of these, I will move in some more cuttings. That's about it. I will also show you my other propagations which are getting ready. So this one is already ready. It's already full. They are looking fantastic. So this was the tray that I had showed you last time. These are all the Tituban's leaf propagation. This 5 in the side that you see, they have reached a good size. I have been offering them a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours, so you can see how compact they are. It has taken quite some time, but the results are amazing. This is another one that I recently prepared. This is also doing fantastic. This one is having a little bit of issue. You can see it already dropped the leaves because the stem is already dried. I don't know what happened to this one. Probably it was dehydrated, so I'm going to take it out. I don't want it. You can see the stem was completely dehydrated. I knew it when I planted it. I thought I'll give it a try, but it looks like it's completely dry, so I'm going to trash it off. But the others are doing quite well. I'm very happy. We have some aguides as well that are loving this spot. So this is also completed. This one was very dehydrated when I started it. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can see it was in a very bad condition. I thought it might not make it. It was extremely dehydrated. I thought I'm going to lose it, but it has slowly started to open, which is very exciting. This is the most motivating part about keeping succulents. At times they might look like they are just on the deathbed, but then all of a sudden they will start to open up and start growing. This is getting a little bit better. I am very happy. It was completely wrinkled, completely closed, but now it is doing quite well. So all of these succulents are also doing well. I have another tray that is being prepared. Once that's ready, I will definitely share it with you guys. So far things are looking well. We are a little bit ahead of time, meaning I anticipated that I will be able to propagate let's say probably 20 or 30 succulents in 2-3 weeks, but I think I have collected a lot. I have done a lot of cuttings. Now I have to figure out some more soil and more pots. Now whenever I'm doing any kind of propagation, or whenever I'm anticipating that I'm going to be growing more succulents, I ensure that I have pots and soil ready well in advance, so that I do not have to do the run around later on. So within couple of weeks we were able to make around 50 pots, some more stem cuttings, and it's going quite well so far. The rains have stopped. Now it is more of the winters. The environment is getting very cold. Now my next target of propagation or stem cuttings are these frills. This one is having a little bit of issue because of underwatering, but it is showing a good amount of growth, so I will have to do a stem cutting in this zone as well. Most of them have started to put out pups. I was quite worried about frills because these are very prone to powdery mildew and mealybugs, but thankfully nothing has attacked this plant. They are doing quite well. They have lost a lot of color because of the monsoon season. It was not very sunny. There was a lot of clouds, but slowly they are starting to regain the color. And trust me, these are very large. They might not seem very large in the camera, but they are quite big. So I'll have to use a little bit bigger pot, probably a 5-inch pot. But I'll do a stem cutting on these. I do not want to uproot, because if I'm going to do a stem cutting, I can leave the stems in the pot, because I'm sure the root system might be very huge in this, so I do not want to disturb the root system. I will just cut off the succulent and then plant them in another pot. They look absolutely stunning. I think if I'm going to expose them to a little bit more of direct sunlight, they will get even more stunning colors. This one I have to be a little bit careful because of underwatering. It has an issue. I completely forget about this part. A lot of times you can see the soil is already dry. My Hera was having issues because of underwatering. I realized that Hera needs a lot of watering, so I had done some cutting on this. I do see some new pups coming up. It looks like it's rotting, but that's how they are. That's how dark color they have. We are going to keep a watch on it. So overall, things are looking good. Winters are in. The temperatures are getting a little bit colder. Now when I'm talking about colder, for us 15 degrees is cold enough. So that's what the night temperatures are. It doesn't drop below that. Maybe it might drop to 13 or 14 degrees Celsius at night, but nothing less than that. So the colors are coming up really well. So that's about it, guys. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.